YouTube viewers, it's Cynthia Michaels from Screen Productions bringing you a new podcast from my civic called the Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm gonna be speaking very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand it. Also, I will try to do my best not to breathe so hard during this audio podcast recording, as well not to cause any audio feedback. And finally, this podcast will take a little adult language. So basically, if you're under 18, this podcast will contain a little adult language. So basically, if you're under 18, if you're 18 or older, then you're okay. With this and everything else out the way, let's get into the latest episode of Lupinranger versus Patranger. So anyway, the episode started off with basically we should at the Patranger's global police headquarters. It was very quiet at the Patranger, base. So basically, they was just having tea, and all of a sudden, a giant monster. A giant Gangren's monster, that body shape that they had left of a Gangren's monster that they were studying, all of a sudden had grown monster size. The Gangren's monster that the Patranger had his body safe, in storage and research turned out to be Odo's brother from a previous episode. Named Andreas. Now, in a previous episode, Odo and the Jayas had found the crane and triggered the season. But during a battle with the Patrangers using the Kaiser Megazord, I just got stepped on and got destroyed by the Kaiser Megazord. So and therefore the cranes got buried. So basically the cranes got lost that way. So anyway, blah blah blah. That's just a little summary. So anyway, Andreas was like how he got how he got bummed back to life, and was wondering how he got bummed back to life. But anyway, after seeing the global police headquarters, he remembered that it was the Patrangers who stepped on with their Megazord, and he was about to attack the global police headquarters. And to the good striker said, I was saying, no worry, I'll help you out. So anyway, the good striker is combined the Patranger's trick to the seas to form the Kaiser Megazord. So basically, Jayas started to battle the Kaiser Megazord and shot missiles at it, but the Kaiser Megazord managed to dodge it. So basically, Jayas missiles missed the Kaiser Megazord. But all of a sudden, his body shape starts to grow. Turns out somehow he has a lithium item in his body shape that redirected his missiles back at the Kaiser Megazord and hitting it. So basically, Jazz realized that he had a liquid item in his body shape, but he didn't know how it got there. So anyway, after seeing evidence that Jazz had a liquid item in his body shape, the good strikers had changed his mind to didn't want to attack Jazz while he had that liquid idol inside his body safe. So basically, the So basically, the good striker. Like the Patrangers didn't really care. Didn't really notice about the lifted item in his body shapes and didn't really care about it. So basically, they're about to finish it off with, and that is about to finish it off with the good striker Megazord's finisher attack, and that's when the good striker, this is some of the Pat Kaiser Megazord, and that's when the lifting Rangers showed up, and they formed the lifting Kaiser Megazord. So basically, when they was done forming the Kaiser Megazord, the giant monster Gingrich size Andreas monster had already fled. Turns out that it was Goss who somehow Goss used her somehow Goss and Destro got the whole of Andreas's body shape from the Patrangers headquarters and managed to put a lifting item inside it. So once Goss survived, so basically Goss is. Somehow, Destro and Goss managed to get Jay's body safe. Goss used her gun to make to bring Jay's back and make him monster size. And Destro put his own personal lifting item inside Jay. So anyway, the lifter. So basically. So basically, the lifting Rangers had no choice. So, where Andreas fled the sea, the lifting Rangers decided to go back to the lifting Rangers tried to go back to the restaurant, and the good striker told him that giant-sized monster has a lifting item in his body set. So basically, the good striker went back with the lifting Rangers to the restaurant to come up with a plan to try to get that lifting item out of the giant size to Travis Gingrich monster. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the Gingrich dimensional hideout at the Gingrich game dimensional hideout dimension / mansion. Yeah, what's the name? So basically, like that's the story that it was me and Goss that it was Goss who brought you back to life, and it was me who gave you my personal lifted item. So basically, he told Andreas to open up his body set to make sure that the lifted item was still inside. So basically, Andreas opened up his body set and the lifted item was still inside. So basically, like good. So basically, that's what I said. Like I want you to use that lifted item and get rid of those Patrangers, and take a bend on the Patrangers. So basically, the giant size Andreas Gingrich monster had his orders from Destro, and Destro left. So basically, Goss is like, what? So basically, Goss was having a conversation with Destro, and turns out we found out a very important detail about the lifted items. Turns out the lifted items that are being used by the Gingrich monster were created in their dimension, and turns out that Austin Lifting stole the items from them. So basically, it turns out that all the lifted items that the Gingrich gang and the monsters have been using were the lifted collection, all the items all the lifted collection items are were created in the dimension where the Gingrich gang comes from. So anyway, it turns out that Austin Liston stole them. It turns out that Austin Liston stole the items from the Gingrich gang in the first place. So anyway, meanwhile, Meanwhile, back at the Lupinranger restaurant, so basically at the Lupinranger restaurant, the good striker and the Lupinranger were trying to figure out how to get that Lupin idol out of that giant Dingway monster, Dre's body safe. So anyway, but that's what Patranger said, we're talking to the good striker, it's like, you don't want to help the cops, you don't want to help the Patranger just like the Lipton item that Andreas had. So basically, the good striker said, I did not know at the time that Andreas had a Lipton item in his body set. So basically, once I saw he had the Lipton, once I saw the power of the Lipton item, grow for his body, that's why I stopped helping the Patranger. So basically, and Lipinranger was like, why are you always helping the cops in the first place? Don't get me wrong, and the good secretary said, don't get me wrong here. I know that you and the Patranger don't get along, but honestly, even though they don't really care about the the good striker was to, even though they don't really care about the listed items like you guys do, or like me or you guys do, but they still want to stop the gang with want to stop the gang much. So basically, they do know that the gang are a major threat. So basically, that's why I continue, helping out that's why I helped out the Patranger. So anyway, so basically, you call yourself a detective, after a mean comment that Lipinranger said to the good striker jet off and left the restaurant and jet off. So anyway, that's when Mr. Cargo appeared out of nowhere and said that, you really hurt the good striker's feelings. So basically, Mr. Cargo was gave some more backstory. So basically, gave more backstory to why more backstory about the good striker and the Phantom Priest Austin Lipton. Turns out that the Lipton items that the gang turns out the listed items that the Gingrich monsters use can only be used by them. So basically, Austin Richardson was trying to collected the listed collection items to try to, he wanted to, turns out that, turns out that the listed items that the Gingrich gang has can only be used by Gingrich monsters. So basically, the listed items powers cannot be used cannot be used by humans. So anyway, so basically, Austin Lipton, gathered the listed items and tried to create his own version of the listed items as well. Now, according to Deathrow, turns out that Austin Lipton created the Direfighters and the Trigger Machines and the good striker from studying the listing collection. So anyway, turned out that Austin Lipton was trying to figure out how to use these listed items to use the power of the listed items to use the power of these listed items to give it to humans, but instead he created the Direfighters and the Trigger Machines and the good striker to make sure that these listed items didn't get in the wrong hands. So basically, the good striker, after the good striker was made, he promised Austin Lipton that that he will look after the collection and whatnot. So anyway, after hearing the story, after hearing the story, like, Lifting Red and the other Lifting Rangers had to change their heart and went searching for the good striker. Meanwhile, back at police headquarters, there was wondering how the Patrangers were wondering how Goss and Destro got a hold of Dreas' body safe from their base. So anyway, that's when the Dreas have to compete and challenge them to a duel tomorrow at the mountain race where they got ambushed at in a previous episode. So basically, the Patranger said that. So basically, Patrick Green said we're going to need the good striker's help. So basically, Patrick Red said that Patrick Ranger's idea was to broadcast that that the Patranger is gonna fight the giant-sized Dreas monster at 3 o'clock at the mountain area. So that way the good tracker put out ads and shit about the giant monster fight between the Patrangers and the giant-sized Dreas. So basically, with these ads, that the good tracker might show up and help them out. So anyway. So basically, Lifting Red is like, Lifting Red found the good striker and apologized for being a kind of asshole towards the good striker. So basically, so basically the rest of the Lifting Rangers showed up and saw the ads to sort of ask to fight the giant sized gangrenous monster Dreas. So basically, they was like let us like this. So basically, let them. So basically, I think we should craft this big duel. So anyway, the Lifting Rangers showed up, they morphed up, so basically, they was about to summon their dire fighters up to make the good striker grow, and that's what the Pack Rangers showed up, grabbed the good striker, and tried to form the Pat Kaiser Megazord, but instead, during the assassination, during the assassination, Lifting Red managed to combine his sword with Patrick Pink and Patrick Green's sword to form the big Kaiser Megazord with the pink and green trigger machine Zord. So basically, it's the Pat Kaiser. It was the Pat Kaiser it was the list Kaiser Megazord with Patrick Pink and Patrick Green's trigger machine Zord. Pass as arms and shit. So basically, the Lifting Red was fighting Patrick Pink and Patrick Green inside the Megazord cockpit while fighting the giant-sized Dreas monster while Patrick Red was fighting Lifting Blue and Lifting Yellow. So basically, after the Kaiser Megazord got the upper hand, Patrick Red used the very dire fire sword to open up the giant-sized body shape of Dreas, and Lifting Blue and Lifting Yellow hopped inside it and got the lifted item. So basically, got the lifted item out of Dreas' giant-sized body shape. So basically, the good striker managed to detach Patrick Green and Patrick Pink's trigger machine Zords from the Kaiser Megazord, and the helicopter and the sisters dire fighter sword combined together with the Pat Kaiser Megazord, and they destroyed the giant-sized Dreas Zord. And they destroyed the giant size So basically, they managed to destroy the giant-sized Andreas Gangwich monster with the power of the Lit Kaiser Megazord and the power of the helicopter and the scissor Direfire Zord, and destroyed the giant-sized Andreas Gangwich monster and got the Litter item, and they fell off together. So basically, so basically, Patranger was kind of pissed off at the Patranger and the Good Striker. So anyway, so basically, the Lister Rangers is like, was celebrating with the Good Striker. So basically, like lifting. So basically, lifting. Saying, are you going to start helping the Are you going to start helping the Path Rangers? Like, and the Good Striker say, no. I'm going to keep helping the Path Rangers and you guys out, because it's my choice. So anyway, the Good Striker. So basically, the Good Striker flew away, and Path Rangers say we have to give. He is right though. Who is the judge that he wants to help us and the Patrangers out? How it's his choice. So basically, the episode ended with the Lister Rangers seeing the Good Striker fly away into the sky. So basically, this is how the episode ended. So basically ended. But until we see Goss talking to the boss about Deathstroke's plan about what happened today. So basically, the boss is like, he's like, he's very interested. So basically, he's telling God, let Deathstroke continue what he's doing. I found it very interesting. So basically, this is how the episode ended with Goss being told by the boss that, let Deathstroke, continue what he's been doing. He found it very interesting. But, so basically, this is really how the episode ended. So anyway, we found out a bit more about the listed items. So basically, this episode gave us more listed items that gave us more details about the listed the difference between the listed items that the game monsters are using, and the difference between the listed items that the Path Rangers and the listed Rangers are using. So anyway. Overall, this was a good episode. This was a good episode. We got a lot more information about the listed items and what the difference between the game with listing items and the listing Rangers and the Path Rangers listing items as well. So anyway, like always, that this is Cynthia Michael signing off. Do you think this episode was good or bad? Please let me know with the comments below. Anyway, signing off. 1,